Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm bringing you another battle in the Rated Battle Special VGC 14 ladder series, where I climb the online ladder and provide live commentary as I go. I'm pre-recording this battle because I'll be in China for the next 2 weeks, and by the time I post this, I'm probably already there. But I wanted to make some content for you guys even while I'm there, so I'm recording this earlier, and I'm scheduling it to come out at a later time, so you guys can still have some content while I'm gone for 2 weeks. Today's team is Kangaskhan, Charizard, Garchomp, Gardevoir, Choice Band Bisharp, and Aerodactyl, the exact same team I used in the last battle against Grayson. My opponent's going to be C. Rivera, 1670 from Connecticut, the United States. 1670, a relatively high rating. I think I've played him before, actually. C. Rivera's team is going to be Talonflame, Salamence, Mamoswine, Rotom Wash, Gardevoir, Lucario. Interesting things here. First of all, Lucario is most likely the Mega Pokemon on his team. Not a very common Mega Pokemon, but one that surprisingly has a good matchup against my team. Second of all, I need to figure out which Mega Pokemon I want to bring. Charizard, of course, does a nice job against Gardevoir, Lucario, and Kangaskhan. Mamoswine, and Rotom Wash. My Kangaskhan, with Fake Out, can help out. I think Charizard's really the way to go with this one, though, because with Tailwind support, it can KO a good amount of his team. Aerodactyl's going to be important in this matchup, too. So I definitely want Aerodactyl. I kind of want Bisharp, too. Bisharp's going to be nice. I think Aerodactyl as a lead. I kind of want Bisharp. And in the back, Charizard. And debating between Garchomp and Gardevoir. Kind of like Gardevoir a bit more. So I'm going to go with Gardevoir. Because with Tailwind, Gardevoir's Moonblast can be really, really, really nice. I'm not really used to using bulky Gardevoir. I'm way more accustomed to using bulky Pokemon like Rotom Wash as my Citrus Berry user. But Gardevoir is one that I've been meaning to try out for a while. So let's see how this plays out. Of course, I'm going to have to avoid being destroyed by that Mega Lucario, and that's where Charizard's going to come in. I'm going to go with Aerodactyl and Bisharp, as I said before, as my leads, and C. Rivera is going to lead with his Lucario and Mamoswine. Interesting matchup here. First of all, obviously this is great because I'll be able to just Tailwind right away, and I'll be able to basically set it up so that in the following turn my Charizard can sweep. I'm going to go for a Sucker Punch onto Mamoswine. I don't really mind losing Bisharp at this point. Getting an attack off onto Mamoswine is good enough because that means Charizard will be able to come out and Heat Wave in the following turns. However, thinking about it, I probably should have brought in Garchomp over my Gardevoir because it does give me a better matchup against his Talonflame, which I assume he is his one of the 4 Pokemon that he has. Lucario is going to Mega Evolve, so I did call that correctly. Of course, Gardevoir on his team was the only other possibility of a Mega Evolution. Lucario is a lot more common than Gardevoir, which I really just haven't seen. Bisharp is going to go for its Sucker Punch right away onto this Mamoswine. Does a good amount. Mamoswine going to go for the Ice Shard onto Aerodactyl. Going to bring me down to my Focus Sash, obviously. But this is good because I doubt my opponent double targeted the Mamoswine, which is actually Life Orb. Interesting. Aerodactyl is going to get its Tailwind off here, which is always really good. And I assume Lucario is going for a close combat. Oh, a Rock Slide, actually. Huh. Interesting. So you opted for the double target onto the Aerodactyl, which is really good for me because having Bisharp survive is really, really, really good, especially now that Tailwind's up. So I'm going to bring out my Charizard here, which can safely just Heat Wave both of my opponent's Pokemon. I'm going to Mega Evolve, Heat Wave, and switch my Bisharp actually out into Gardevoir because I anticipate the Lucario switching out. And so Bisharp not really going to do too much here. Especially when it's a Charizard can KO both of my opponent's Pokemon. And Gardevoir under Tailwind is always really good, especially when it's support and runs Will-O-Wisp and Taunt. So Lucario is going to switch out. I assume into... Oh, Rotom, actually. Okay. A good switch on my opponent's part here. Charizard is going to Mega Evolve. I assume that Mamoswine is going to go for a Ice Shard onto Charizard, but let's see. So I'm going to Mega Evolve here, bring up Drought, which of course boosts my Sun-type attacks from Charizard... My Fire-type attacks, excuse me. Mamoswine actually going for the Protect, even better for me. As I am just basically able to get a free turn of damage off here onto the Rotom Wash. Fortunately, that Heat Wave is going to connect, not going to miss, and it's going to do a nice amount. Looks like it's enough for a Solar Beam to take it out. So I'm going to Solar Beam here and Psychic the Mamoswine. Mamoswine most likely going to protect and... Excuse me, Mamoswine, I expect Mamoswine to go for a Ice Shard onto Charizard and a Rotom to protect here, but if Rotom doesn't protect, that's perfectly fine. But Rotom's actually going to switch out into most likely, Talonflame. So really, really nice play there. It's a shiny to boot. As Mamoswine does go for the Ice Shard, I think it has just enough to survive. Yep. So Charizard going to go for a Solar Beam here. Not going to do very much. I actually probably should have just Heat Waved and Psychicked the Talonflame, which most likely would have KO'd, but unfortunately it's not going to be the case here. Solar Beam, you see, does very little, actually. This Gardevoir is going to pick up a KO onto this Mamosime with Psychic. Of course, me taking some damage with Charizard is never good, especially because now it's in Brave Bird KO range. But I'm still not in the worst of positions as the Rotom Wash comes out. You'd have to assume Talonflame is going to Brave Bird the Charizard here. I'm actually going to Solar Beam and just... actually, let me think this through. Yeah, I'm going to Solar Beam the Rotom Wash. He might predict the Protect on Charizard, which would be great if he just targeted Gardevoir. That would actually just win me the game. So I'm actually assuming he's going to predict me and Brave Bird the Gardevoir. Let's see if he actually does do that. So Brave Bird is going to go off. And he did Brave Bird Gardevoir. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So I called that up accurately. And the reason why I wasn't really afraid of him Brave Birding Charizard was because it would do a lot of recoil damage, and I most likely would be able to pick up the KO with Psychic. This is one of the cases where you predict your opponent predicting your Protects, and it works out in your favor. So Charizard's going to get the Solar Beam onto Rotom Wash. That should be a one-hit KO, or from that range, and it is. Rotom Wash, of course, mainly built to be bulky, to survive Solar Beams from Charizards, but getting recoil, some chip damage off before you bring out the Solar Beam is always huge, because it turns it into a one-hit KO. And the turn plays out basically perfectly as he Brave Birds my Gardevoir instead of my Charizard. This is one of the cases where, because you target the wrong Pokemon, it's like if you make the right call, that's great, but if you make the wrong call, you basically lose. And I think that's basically what's going to happen here. But it's not over yet. Here I'm just going to Heat Wave and Will-O-Wisp the Lucario. Charizard, oh, yeah, okay. Bullet Punch going off onto Gardevoir, that should KO me, yep. So hopefully Heat Wave doesn't miss here, but Mega Charizard with Timid Nature is faster than Mega Lucario, and Heat Wave is going to connect here, so I should be able to take the game pretty convincingly. 2-0 win there. Really the turning point was that previous turn where I was able to not get Brave Birded onto Charizard. Sometimes it's a risky play, but sometimes in VGC you just have to make those calls and say, hey, if my opponent doesn't target me because he assumes I'm protecting, then I can actually win the game right away, which is exactly what happened. So that was a pretty fun game. Rate, comment, subscribe, of course, if you guys haven't already. Normally I'd say 300 likes for the next video, but since I'll be gone and I'll be scheduling videos for the next couple of days, just any likes and comments are always greatly appreciated. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.